Today is November 1st, 2023. My name is Rob Carr of Kalamazoo Right to Life, and this is Pro-Life Week. Well, I just want to first thing mention that the Michigan House has still not taken a vote on the Reproductive Health Act. It's still stalled because of our one Democratic holdout, Karen Whitsett from Detroit. So continue to pray for her. And it's very possible that there may not be a vote at all because I'm sure the governor and the Michigan Speaker of the House, who's a Democrat, they will not bring it up for a vote if they know they will lose. So maybe it's going to be the end of the road for that piece of legislation. But I want to mention a few things today. Mike Johnson is a representative, congressman from Louisiana. And now he is the new Speaker of the House. We've seen that after about a 3-week turmoil in the Republican caucus. They finally rallied around one candidate, and he's been elected Speaker. He's a strong pro-lifer. He is really a strong pro-lifer, very strong Christian. And he's very outspoken about his faith. And and I understand a lot of people in the media have criticized him for being so Christian. So thank God that he does practice his faith, unlike people like Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden, who claim to be Catholic, but don't really espouse the teachings of the church, especially when it comes to the sanctity of human life and the issue of abortion. So thank God that Mike Johnson is now at the helm in the House of Representatives. And I did read too that he has a very compelling reason why he is pro-life. And that is when his parents were juniors in high school, so they're like 17 maybe, his mom got pregnant as a junior in high school. And they were not married, and they dropped out of school. They decided to have the baby. They decided to have Mike Johnson. Parents got married. Dad went to work. They went back to school, got his GED, and the very fact they gave him life when abortion, in the world's eyes, abortion would have seemed the most logical solution for a bunch of 17-year-old kids who were not married. But no, they chose life for this little guy. And look how God has used him. So that's the Mike Johnson story. In the state Senate, that there's still that impasse between Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville and the rest of the Democrats in the Senate fighting over these military promotions. There's about 300 plus senior officers who have been nominated for promotions, and Tuberville has blocked their promotions because he opposes the Biden administration's policy of having taxpayer dollars fund military personnel to travel to states to get abortions. And for that abortion travel, Tuberville is holding the line. And rather than the Biden administration kind of cave in and say, okay, we need these promotions, we need these colonels to become brigadier generals, we will cancel this policy. But no, they're digging in their heels, just like Tuberville's digging in his. So this is going to continue. But what's interesting is that all 300 plus of these promotions could be voted on if they were done individually. If a certain person was going to be promoted from a 1 to a 2-star general, that name would be introduced. There would be basically like a debate or a formality, and the whole Senate would vote on that person. And then there may be another candidate they're going to introduce, and that person would be voted upon. So you would have, in essence, 300 separate votes for these 300 officers. Or they could do it the way that the Democrats want. They want to basically have a package deal where there's one vote for all 300 candidates, as opposed to 300 votes. And because of the way the Senate rules are, if one senator opposes that kind of a blanket vote, he can hold up the entire Senate vote. So rather than have 300 votes, they want one. And Tuberville is saying, no, if you want these guys promoted, either abolish the abortion and travel policy or introduce these candidates one at a time with one vote at a time. Okay, and that's, as far as I can tell, the issue is not going away. This coming Tuesday, next Tuesday, is the election. Obviously not the midterm, that was last year, and not the presidential, because that's next year. But this is like an off-year election. But there are some serious issues on the ballot, especially in Ohio. Issue 1, I've talked about this before, would be very similar to Michigan's Proposal 3. It would establish the right to abortion in the Ohio State Constitution. And I just read this morning that several Catholic churches in the Cincinnati area were vandalized, apparently, over the weekend. And I'm not sure if it's the church building per se, but several vote no on issue 1 signs that were on the church property were destroyed. And, I'm speaking candidly here, I had some vote for Donald Trump, Trump signs in my yard back in 2020. And on 3 separate occasions, my signs were stolen. Now, I was able to catch this kid on a bike for the third theft, and I was able to put the sign back up. But 3 times my signs were stolen. It's a good thing I had more than 3 to put up to replace the ones that were taken. But if I saw somebody with a Biden sign or a Hillary Clinton sign, it wouldn't even occur to me to go into their yard and rip off their sign, to steal that sign. It wouldn't even occur to me. But some of these liberals, some of these people who are quite unhinged, they feel it's their duty to get rid of Republican signs. And here, issue 1 is no exception. These liberals just cannot stand people who want to support and defend the lives of unborn babies. These are people who want abortion at all costs, and they're going to steal signs to discourage their opposition. Okay. But that's in Ohio. In Mississippi, the governor's up for re-election. Now, this pro-life governor is the man who signed Mississippi's 15-week abortion ban that became the genesis for the Dobbs decision. And the Democrats are spending a lot of money on abortion-related attack ads to have this man defeated. And we'll just have to continue to pray that this individual, I didn't really catch his name, is gonna win re-election. In Virginia, there's a big issue there in the state house and the state senate, because the governor, Glenn Youngkin, is not up for re-election until 2024, I believe, next year. So the article I read said the Democrats will spend $4.5 million on abortion-focused ads, while the Republicans have only spent $590,000 on pro-life focused ads. So you see this real disparity between how much money the Democrats are putting into what they consider is a winning issue to paint Republicans as being so pro-life that they want to see women die, and they want to discourage abortion, basically a conception, which I would support. But on the other hand, these Democratic politicians who really don't want any kind of exceptions. They really do not want exceptions at all. And to them, the unborn child is a non-entity, just does not exist. Last item, in Florida, the state attorney general has gone to the state Supreme Court to see if they can get a referendum overturned. This referendum is not on the ballot in a week. It would be, if everything goes according to their plan, it would be on the ballot in November of 2024. And it's similar, they have vague and misleading wording, making people think that there are restrictions to abortion, when in essence, it would codify Roe v. Wade in the state of Florida. And it's interesting, the group that is sponsoring this ballot proposal is called, the name of the group is called Floridians Protecting Freedom. So the last time I spoke, I talked about this new terminology where the pro-abortion people are shifting away from the idea of pro-choice and they're focusing in on the word freedom. Like in Michigan, reproductive freedom for all is that bill that's stalled. And in Florida, Floridians Protecting Freedom. That's the new word. We're Americans. How can you oppose freedom? We fought for freedom against the British in the Revolution. We support freedom. We defend freedom. We embrace it. But their focus is on the freedom to have an abortion, the freedom for reproductive rights, and which is something we do oppose, because if you embrace a woman's freedom to abortion, you're giving her the right to kill another human being. And that's not the kind of freedom that we would support. The Southern slave owner had the freedom to own slaves, but was that helping the freedom of the slave? Of course not. So, one person's freedom is another person's bondage, or in the case of abortion, it's the other person's death that we would oppose. So, last item, now this is coming down to the wire here, but Right to Life in Michigan has a rally in Lansing, November 8th, the March for Life. Buses are leaving Kalamazoo First Assembly of God Church at 8 a.m., and we're going to Lansing. And if you are interested in attending the rally, please go to our website, kazoortl.org. And beneath the photograph of the baby, you'll see the words, reserve a seat, save a seat, get a seat, something like that. Click that, it takes you to another page that you can purchase a ticket or a seat with a credit card. Tickets are $15 for adults, $10 for students, and we have like a family plan. If you have a large family and the whole crew's gonna go, it's a maximum of $50. So do the math. It may be cheaper to take that whole family and apply that family plan. Bring a sack lunch and a bottle of water. We're going to be eating on the bus on the return trip. And we leave at 8 in the morning. We would be returning around 3:30 or sooner. It all depends when our buses can retrieve us after the rally and the march in Lansing at the state capitol. The March for Life, please consider this. It's important. We need to tell the governor, show the governor, and show the pro-abortion state senators and representatives that we have not surrendered. We have not gone away and hidden in a basement like Joe Biden hides in his basement up when he runs for president. No. We are alive. We are strong. We are committed to defending the lives of unborn babies. With that, I'll let you go, and I'll see you next time.